What's up, guys? Anthony Monetti here with my co-host. Doing a little podcasting on the road lately because it's efficient.
And we're on the road a lot.
So, yeah, we're heading back into New York City for our real estate workshop. It's been a fun day so far. We did it yesterday. Today's Saturday. We're heading back into tomorrow. Doing tomorrow again. Fun stuff, learning about how to get into real estate. I believe it's Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi,
Kevin O'Leary, Corcoran.
All like the heavy hitters have a group of, they are the group, and they have a system of getting into real estate, buying, investing. So we discovered it through our last workshop we went to, which we've been spending a lot of money lately on coaching and workshops and investing a lot lately, and just overall our education and right, like
that's what they say. They say you constantly got to reinvest in yourself and coaching and learning and wisdom.
And we've been doing it this year, and I feel like, is it a placebo or just working more because we're more inspired? A lot of these things are just trying to get you hyped up to do more work, and a lot of them are just to get you, kind of thinking and believing and being in a different mindset of attracting more clients, more abundance, more and that's all may sound wonky to some people, but the tactical stuff is one thing, but the actual mindset that's needed is a whole different ballgame, and that's where people I think get screwed up, myself included in that, but the mindset is more important. But yeah, so we were talking yesterday. We did a little bit of a Worlds review recap, but I just wasn't happy with, we missed a couple things, and I'll use some of the content for social, but I wanted to get like a full recap of the 2019 WNBF Worlds bodybuilding figure men's physique bikini championships, which was last weekend. That sun is bright, but yeah, I just wanted to chop it up with Karen. Karen was on a judging panel for how long, Karen?
I think it was 18 hours.
18 hours judging.
8 a.m. to 3 a.m.
Now, they had a bunch of judges there. They kept pulling you off, putting you on. Yeah. So I think they they wanted to give you a break, but they also wanted to shake it up and not have the same judges for that long.
You can't, though. You can't have the same judges for that long straight.
Definitely can't. And you had like UK judges on there. You had judges from
Germany, Italy.
That's right.
America.
That's right. Which was really cool because
you have to in a world competition.
It shakes it up a little bit,
It's only fair.
Yeah, and of course, like anything, I mean, you guys know me by now. I'm Captain Happy, and I try to, find the positive, and I try to, find the solution. And it's easy to find the problem. Everybody has a problem. Everybody wants to find the problem, but not everybody's willing to, put the work in to find a solution or think about a solution. First of all, not everybody's able to find a solution. I find that more challenging. I find that more fun. So, of course, some people had some problems with the Worlds, and there's been some controversy. And I shared a post with you yesterday. I don't want to get involved in any more bullshit on Facebook with the drama, and I'd rather just speak, do a podcast, and just speak my mind, and put it out there, and not be typing back and forth with somebody on the other. Who the fuck knows what?
Stupid.
Yeah, it's just silly, and I did get caught up in the post a couple days ago with Chris Barracat put something up, tagged a bunch of people, and I try to respond diplomatically in the beginning, and it wasn't a good enough response for Chris, so then I got involved with some drama bullshit, and I don't want to be involved with any of that. No, I don't want to cause any beef, and it's not worth it, and
it's not your character.
It's just not. It's also not really, it's hard to communicate through text message. We all know that, and it's hard to communicate what you really truly mean through a few lines on Facebook, and then you get your emotions involved, which I did, and you start, saying stuff that is really stupid and really, is not positive, and that's whatever. So, but Chris had a few concerns about the organizations. A couple organizations had their big they had their big show of the year last weekend. And to be honest with you, I don't know enough about the OCB or the IFPA, if that's even a thing. NGA, I don't know. I haven't competed in the NGA since they separated from the WNBF, so I don't know too much about them. And the DFAC, I don't know. I hear rumors about these organizations, but I don't know enough about it. I don't compete in them. Karen doesn't compete in them. When we have clients who want to compete in them, or when we have athletes who want to compete, we just push them into the INBF and WNBF, and we don't even mess with the other organizations. So I can't speak for the other organizations, but what we can speak for today is the WNBF, because we are not only, I'm not only still an active athlete competing in the WNBF, but we also promote a show, the INBF Jersey Cup Classic.
April 25th, 2020.
Boom.
Atlantic City, House of Blues.
Plug it up, girl. Which is going to be a super dope show, fun, entertaining, right on the boardwalk in Atlantic City. We're looking at a special guest performer, some entertainment for you guys. We're going to have, you're going to be able to, buy cocktails and have food, and we're trying to bring the excitement back to a bodybuilding competition. We're trying to. I mean, I don't know if it'll ever happen. When we say that we're trying to do things a little different, people say, oh, that's too late in the day. People don't want to be there all day. Somebody made a comment about oh, it's too late. These bodybuilding shows are too long nowadays. We just want to get in. We want to get out. So the things are changing, and, I've always, since I've been 17, I've been at bigger bodybuilding shows. In fact, back in the day, it was even longer because there was more competitors and there was a bigger competition pool. We'd be up on stage for 45 minutes, and then we'd be in the auditorium until 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. And now with social media, more and more people are voicing their opinion about it, and not too much has changed as far as these longer days go. But anyway, let me digress, and get back on track here a little bit and talk about the Worlds competition. 340 plus competitors. I think it was like 360 with crossovers, meaning 360, places of competitors. But I think 340 plus was the number. I could be wrong, could be a little off, but 340, 360. Who the fuck cares? It's the same. It's still a lot. It's still a lot of competitors from Italy, Japan, China. Maybe not Japan, China. I think China. Switzerland, UK. Italy, UK had a big team.
Spain had a big team.
Spain, Australia.
Australia always brings a big team.
And of course the US, and it's fun to see that. It's nerve-wracking a little bit, and it's also it levels up the competition. People are traveling from all over the world to compete, so it definitely levels up the competition. But some of the concerns, and we'll just touch upon them first, was it was a long day. People were in the auditorium until 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was up there, I helped out with the emceeing, and I was up there until 3 o'clock in the morning. And when you're looking into the crowd, my job is to keep everybody hyped. There's like 25 people in the auditorium. So, I mean, when you look at why that is, it's because natural bodybuilding doesn't have a big draw at that level, at any level really. So this is the World's competition, and at the end of the day, you got 30 people in the auditorium.
It's also because when their athletes are done, or their friends and family, they leave.
They bounce because there's no entertainment, there's nothing to do. They just want to see the show, and they want to bounce. So
they want to see their friends, family get awarded and leave. That's it.
That's it. And I don't blame them. I've been there and done it. I've wanted to get the hell out. Whoa, that sun is bright.
Can't see shit.
I'm the same way. I want to get in and get out. Unless I have an athlete, or unless Karen's on stage, or unless we have people competing that I want to see, I want to get in and get out also. So there's not much excitement towards the end of the night, and I think the main reason why it was until 3 o'clock in the morning is because there was 340 plus competitors, and they had it it was one full day of pre-judging in the morning, and then the awards in the evening. That was one thing that was addressed immediately. Actually, in fact,
it was addressed during the show itself.
It was addressed before the show, and they couldn't agree on having it a second day. From what I heard, I think Nancy wanted to do a second day. Bob and Tina didn't want to do a second day. So whatever it is, they're the promoters. They own the organization. They didn't do a second day. So that's where we ended up. But it was a discussion before the day even started. Now, during the day, while it was going on, and into the next day, literally, the next morning at the promoters meeting, we discussed, that was the first thing we talked about. Like, we need to change that because that's not a good thing. So people who are, I say bitching, but some people were saying they were voicing their opinion. I hear it as bitching because it just comes across as a negative kind of feedback, and it's all how you project, and it's all how you present yourself. It's all about perspective. It's all about perceiving it. That's what it's all about. So you may not think it's bitching, but some of the comments seemed as they were negative and they were bitching. And if the same person over and over and over many years is voicing their opinion, it becomes a whining session. It becomes a bitching session. You may not perceive it like that, whoever's listening to this, or anybody for that matter. But it's also how you're perceived, right? It's about how people are going to take that. But people were hemming and hawing, for lack of a better term, voicing their opinion about how it was a long day. But that's been addressed. It's not going to be a long day. Next year, it's going to be a 2-day event. So that's one problem solved. Another problem, or another concern, was that the lighting was not quality. I admit, when I was there in the audience, I wasn't judging, so I don't know. We can ask Karen about how the lighting was. But when I was sitting in the front row, it's like, damn, I felt personally that the competitors were too far away from the judges to it just felt like it was too far away. And also it felt like the lighting on the tail end, or the bookends of the stage, was very light, and it was you weren't able to see the competitors' definition and quality of physique. Karen, what are your thoughts on the lighting?
I think you're right. When it comes to the lighting on the sides of the stage, it was a little darker. But then again, you got to remember, we shuffle through and we put the lowest graded people on the ends. And I know it's not fair even to not judge them all the way. We judge them still, but you put the people who are coming in last on the side. I mean, I don't think the lighting affected us. I was able to score everybody the way I needed to score them. I didn't see an issue. I've been to shows where the lighting is god-awful, and to judge people, like, you're getting glares, reflections, shadows. I didn't feel that in this show. I thought, as a judge, the lighting was where we needed to be, and I think the top 5 people in every category were rightfully so there. So I don't think the lighting was an issue for us. Now, again, in a show, the most important aspect of the lighting is for the judges. It's not for anybody else. I mean, yes, it's nice for the audience to see, but at the end of the day, the audience are not the ones awarding these athletes. It's the judges. So I think from a judging perspective, there was nothing wrong with the lighting. It was nice because there weren't any shadows, there weren't any glares. The reason that they look so far back is because there was just too many people on stage, and you couldn't keep them in a straight line. We had to make like a U on stage unless we did individual call-outs or group call-outs or something. But I didn't have an issue with the lighting, and I was on that panel for a long time.
I think the bottom line, here's the bottom line. If you're not in the center, it doesn't matter. And I'll be honest with you, that may hurt some people's feelings, but if you're taking 7th or 8th, I'm sorry. I mean
15th or 17th.
It's I'm not trying to be rude, but
it's a competition.
This is the top of the world, right? We have 360 competitors to get through. We have 20 classes to get through.
More than that.
This is the top of the world. Like, you need to be on point. get there, and that's it. And if you're not, and this is what it comes down to, even from a competitor standpoint. You ready for this? Be so fucking impressive that they pull you out no matter what and put you in the fucking center.
Yeah, man. That.
Why can't that be something that drives you? That's what drives me. Fuck, I want to walk out. Before I'm even walking on stage, I want to be walking up to the lineup, and they're like, "Damn, Manetti's fucking fired today. Get that motherfucker right in the center. I want to see him front and center."
Yeah. I will tell you, there was only one person that did that to me the whole entire show.
Who was it?
It was the girl who won short figure from
Yes.
Denmark with the orange, like
I agree.
Strawberry blonde orange hair.
Gorgeous.
As soon as her toe came out of the curtain, I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
Like you couldn't take your eyes off her, no matter what. And she was so beautiful and polished,
statuesque,
and poised and posed well, and her physique was amazing.
Posture.
She was the only one in the show that did that. In my eyes.
All right.
There was a lot of close first seconds, but she was the only one that.
That's what you should
really
be saying.
captured.
That's what you should be doing. Now,
Yeah, that's hard to do.
And that's one thing. The other thing is, bottom line, did anybody not get judged fairly because the lighting was off, quote unquote, in the spectators' eyes? I don't feel it did. It's just such a subjective sport that any one of the top 3 people could have won the show, and that's what it comes down to. It's any given fucking Saturday could be your day to win the Worlds. Any given Saturday. You know, I think people bitch and complain. I feel like it's bitch and complaining, and I don't give a fuck what people think. It's bitching, it's complaining, it's moaning, it's whining, it's I didn't win. The lighting was horrible, the fucking judges. It was like, take extreme ownership of your shit. Stop blame throwing and throwing the blame on somebody else.
Learn how to pose. Learn how to present.
There's a lot
of
of
color.
Right. Like, what can I do to improve? How can I really stand out?
Do your cardio.
That's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. So I don't think the lighting was off. I mean, I think it was off, but I think it's not my call to say the lighting was off, because the judges they all lined up before the show started to look at the stage before anybody got there, and they're looking at the stage and they're figuring out where the line should be for the competitors, how the lighting should be, and then they all agreed upon it, and then they rock and roll and they start the show. So, okay, and my man Chris was talking about social media and the pictures aren't quality, and again, pay for the fucking professional photography and you're gonna have quality photos. If you're looking for your iPhone in the middle of the fucking auditorium doing a video or taking a picture, you're gonna get shitty photos. Maybe they want you to have shitty photos. Maybe they want you to buy the photography. Maybe they're trying to make money because it's a fucking business. So,
and the photographer is also there for 22, 24 hours on their time. They don't get paid to do this. They don't get paid to do that either. So, you know what? They need to make some money for that. It's a professional art.
The world champ, 2-time world champ, Kendall. First of all, he looked amazing. We'll talk about that in a second.
Unbelievable.
He just posted a couple pictures up, and they look super duper quality to me. I mean, as quality as social media can be, as quality as Instagram can be. So, that in that regards, I think they look fine. And if the WNBF feels that they need to change the lighting, they will. And if they don't, you're gonna bitch about it again next year, or you're gonna find something else to bitch about. But anyway, let's get okay. So lighting, we got that covered. We got the long day covered. What else? What else? The competitors, I feel like it hasn't been this highly competitive in a while. For half a decade. And I mean, like, of course, there's always the top of the top always look great. But I mean, like, from 12th place to the first place as a whole, each category looked fantastic, from the amateur level to the pro level. And I feel like that's an improvement from last year, pulling out the positive, because last year in California there was some people who just came off Venice Beach and decided to do the World's Cup bodybuilding competition that day, and that
as a bucket list item or something.
Right, and it waters it down. Or Barbara, who lost 85 pounds, wants to do a bikini competition at 45. God bless Barbara. You guys know how I feel about transformations. I think it's amazing, but it's the Worlds. There's a different level, right? So I feel like this was a true Worlds competition, which is awesome. And now next year, that we even talked about from the promoter standpoint, that they're going to do some kind of point system where you have to qualify for these events. I've been trying to push that for years, guys. Do I bitch about it? I voice my opinion, right? And I say, guys, these shows are getting so watered down that you have to have some kind of qualifying level. You have to. And I wouldn't even mind if we did it for the Jersey Cup. And that was like, you had to do a tier system, and you have to build points, and you have to collect points throughout the year in order to do these bigger shows. Back when I got my pro card, guys, it took me 12 years because it was fucking hard. There wasn't a social media for me to go home and voice my opinion with. I took it. I took the L, went home, I went back to the drawing board, cried, overate like a fucking asshole because I was depressed, and then Monday morning I got right back in the fucking gym and I tried to get my shit together. And then I eventually got my pro card, but it was difficult. And there was like 2 shows that I can get my pro card. It was a Natural Mania, and it was the Hercules.
Super Pro Quals.
And that's what was different about the sport. And that's like changing. You guys, there's a great book, we just read it last night. It's called Who Moved My Cheese? It's about change and how you adapt. And are you going to be sitting there waiting for things to go back to where they were? Or are you going to adapt and find a different way to get to where you want to be? Period. And that's it. The sport is changing, and the sport's changing. I feel like for a couple of years there, it was like a little bit rocky when the WNBF when J-Lo left. You guys don't even know who J-Lo is.
J-Lo, Charlie, Steve.
J-Lo, Charlie, Steve. These guys left. And that's where it was like the epitome, like the golden era of natural bodybuilding. These young cats don't know, but that's when it was. And when that group broke up, J-Lo sold it because he had magazines, and the magazines, obviously the industry was changing with social media and digital age. He sold it, and Charlie left and Steve left, and it kind of got disrupted for like 3 to 5 years. It was like, whoa, is the organization still going to be around? Like it was really rocky. It was changes going on. They had to adapt. And I'm not sure if Bob and Tina and Nancy even get along really completely that much now. But they've learned to gel together enough to put on an event last weekend and have it be successful. In some people's eyes, it wasn't successful because it was some stuff that wasn't perfect. But I see the big picture, and I see the progress. And I see it heading in a positive direction. For a couple of years there, it was a little sketchy, I'll be honest with you. And when it first happened, I interviewed them both on my podcast. You can check that out. I interviewed all of them on my podcast. One of the first episodes. And we talked about the change in the industry and how they were going to adapt. And you know what? Not everybody gets along. But you have to get along enough, and you have to know how to make a business work. And that's what this is, guys. It's a business. And there's not a lot of money in it. It is a hobby and a passion of these people on all levels. Did Karen get paid for being on the judging panel for 18 hours? Zero. I mean, I had fun up there, so I wasn't expecting to get paid. But I was up there until 3 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get paid. My rate in studio in in Somerville was $175 an hour. I was there for 10 hours, 12 hours. I didn't get paid nothing.
Is there 18?
I didn't do it for that. Anyway, So the point is, we
all do this as a hobby.
It's a hobby.
It's a passion.
And you know what? And
not making a killing on it.
Some people want it to be a real thing, and they're jazzed up about making it a real thing. And I wish you the luck. I'll support you. What are you doing to help make it possible? Besides training your people to compete in these shows, besides expecting more and more, kind of red carpet treatment. One of the comments on that bullshit drama post that I was on, Chris made a comment about, you were the only one to be on to bring natural bodybuilding to national television. I'm baffled that you aren't expecting more or demanding more. I'm like, what am I going to fucking demand? What, am I making them any money for them? Am I giving them a reason to want to provide the Madison Square Garden kind of experience for me? No. I'm competing. I pay my dues. I step on stage. I want a fair shake, and I walk the fuck away with whatever placing. That's it. I'm not doing it. What am I doing? Am I making any money? Like when you have pro athletes and you have the NFL and the MLB, they're making money for the organization, right? As natural athletes, are you making money for the organization?
Other than your entry fee.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, all you can expect is a fair shake, fair judging, and respect. What else is there? Demanding more what? And then another thing was in a high school auditorium. I didn't even realize it was a high school auditorium. To be honest with you, it felt like a really, really nice auditorium. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a nice stage. It had, it had everything that you needed to make it happen. Like, why does it have, like, how does that change it? And again, what the fuck are you doing to make them money or to give them a reason? It's money. Right?
And it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. And I think that, I'm not dismissing anybody's opinion or their voice, right? But I'm just trying to give my perspective on it and try to give a little bit different side of the organization, of what it really takes in these competitions. And no, okay, cool. I agree. Yeah, like many thousands of people have texted me, DM'd me, emailed me, I got into bodybuilding because I saw you on MTV. Awesome. That's great. How many people started to compete in the organization because of me being on television? I don't know, but that's great. What am I going to say? No, I want it. What do I want? What can I expect? You're going to give me a fair shake? Cool. Are you going to treat me with respect? Cool. I don't know. Maybe it's just my ignorance, but that's my take on that. People whine about, the judges were from fucking this country and they voted against me or they didn't give me shit. Fuck, man.
First of all, when you're on the judging panel, I don't know who's from what country. I don't know their names. I don't know any of that. I just know the body I see in front of me and how you're displaying it.
It comes down to
period, end of story.
Trusting the organization, and if you don't trust the organization, that's fine. That's a whole different conversation. But trusting the promoters of the show to give put the right people in the right position to make the show a happy, positive experience, pleasant experience, right? If the judges are all put in place, I've never felt I got fucked in any one of my shows. And here's why. I've always done an evaluation the next day. Because you step off stage and nobody, okay, I mean, I shouldn't say nobody, but I get it. You guys know, I was in tears on national television because I didn't win, right? So I put my heart and soul into competing. I always have. So that night, you can't really be giving yourself a fair evaluation of how you placed and your experience because your emotions are so twisted up. You're exhausted, you're tired, you're relieved that it's over, but you're also pissed that you didn't do well. Whatever your emotions you're going through, you can't give yourself a fair evaluation of it. But every time I stepped off stage, of course, I was probably emotional that night, but the next day, I would do a self-evaluation. I would look at pictures and I would analyze it, and I would always find a reason why I didn't do well. Again, going back to how can I improve? People say that I should have won the Mr. Universe in 2016. People say I should have won the Mr. Universe in Barbados because I was more balanced than Steve Subcliffe. Steve Subcliffe is a great body. He's a great physique. When you look at head to toe, I personally, in my opinion, and some people's opinions, was more polished, more head to toe, more complete.
More
symmetrical. Steve doesn't really have, some things that I did. And I didn't have the thickness that he did. It's a fucking sport of subjective opinions. Back in New York, most people said I should have beat that dude. You heard it. When I didn't win, you heard the audience. People I didn't know were like, whoa, it was shocking. And then people say I should have got the nod if it was close because of what I contribute to the organization and how long I've been in the organization, and I'm a promoter, and I'm this, and I'm that, and I've done so much for the natural bodybuilding world that I should have got the nod, and I should have got that title of Mr. Universe. That night, I was fucking pissed. How could you not be? I was frustrated. Went home, looked at pictures. I'm like, well, the dude's fucking great. I didn't lose to the fucking, Ken, who lost fucking 80 pounds and just decided to compete. Like, I lost. This guy's fucking great body. He's got a great physique. And if I had 1 or 2 placings of first on the judging panel, and the other people gave him more first places, I don't know how it shakes up all the time with these judges, but I didn't win. I don't know how I start talking about this, but I never felt like I got fucked, and many people feel like they got screwed over because of this, because of that. Placings are, here's the bottom line, guys. I always try to give you the bottom line at the end of my little rants, is that it's a subjective sport, and you're not going to win every show. You're not.
And you have a better chance of losing than you do of winning in this world.
You're absolutely right. Now, can't always. You talk about the Kendall and Sam. I mean, those dudes were battling out for the heavyweight, right?
2 amazing physiques. It was not easy.
Be honest with you.
In some ways.
I mean, it was a clear win for me when I saw Kendall up there, because he's nothing against Sam. I mean, you can't take this shit personal either. But when you're looking at putting yourself up there, Kendall is just.
He is such a beautiful physique.
I know he works hard, but my man's been extremely blessed with amazing genetics, and I know he works hard. But he has such a.
But you can't train genetics.
You can't train those round muscles, and he's so young, and he's got such a bright future in the sport, and he's just. That was a clear win for me, and I love Sam's physique. I think Sam's a little older. He brings the crisp, grainy muscle that Kendall doesn't have yet, and he won't for a while because he's so young.
He's 24. I think,
he's a baby. He's a baby. So unless he was working out at 3, I think a lot of that is just because he's been, blessed with great genetics, and how much of that is genetics.
It was fun to watch them 2 up on stage, though, and I wasn't judging that class, thankfully.
I've been watching them on social media, and Sam put something up there about a month ago about comparing yourself to the best and the best, and I commented. I'm like, all right, well, this dude Kendall, my man's got freaky genetics, like Flex Wheeler genetics, Flex Wheeler shape and conditioning, and I
think he has a tinier waist than me.
Yeah. But
with lats that are like.
But doesn't have the grainy conditioning, sharp cuts. Whereas you look at Sam and he's freaky sometimes, like from the side with his pecs and his glutes and his, hamstrings. They're diced. Glutes, hamstrings, maybe not so much as much as the other parts of his body. But I'm just giving you the real fact. I'm giving you my opinion, guys, and I'm calling it like I see it. But those are 2 great athletes. Now, is Sam going to walk away and bitch because he didn't win? I mean, how could you look at Kendall and think that you should have won, or be pissed that you lost to somebody like that? It's not because of judging. It's not because of this. Like, it's clear. It's obvious, right? And how many other competitions, how many other divisions did that happen in? I think...
it was a few that there was clear winners, like...
Obvious. Clear and obvious.
Yeah,
and the others where it's like... I don't know names
second and
specifically.
thirds were hard in a lot of the classes.
And second and thirds could have won.
Could have. It could have went any way. It could have went any way.
That's how close it is. Any given Saturday.
It was tough. The competition was fierce. It was great to see. As a judge, it was really hard. Some of those classes, we looked at each other. There was 18 deep, and I specifically on the judging panel looked at my people next to me. I'm like, what the fuck are we gonna do? Like, what? They all look so good, and you have to start breaking it down round by round, and you have to pull apart every single aspect of somebody's physique. It's not easy to do that.
No.
And it was hard. You guys, the athletes brought it. It was so good to see, because it's really hard to judge not good physiques. It's even harder to judge the people who don't put the time and effort in, because you're like, how do you judge the worst of the worst? When you have to judge the best of the best, it's fucking hard. But it's cool, because you make them work, and you're like, they're so similar here and here, but you know what? This one's got better hamstring tie-ins. This one has better calves.
You start finding shit wrong.
Yeah. It's crazy. It was hard.
I will say, that's what... I'm going voice my opinion. Please don't judge me. I'm gonna voice my opinion. Don't criticize me. I have a voice. For real though, if I was head judge, I would have bringing it back old school, which I think is so much more competitive and exciting. I would have had them all line up. Let's fucking go. Line up. Quarter turn. I would have ran through a couple quarter turns without moving anybody. And then I would have said, go back to the line. And then I would start calling people out. First call outs. And then you bring 8, 7 to 8 people to the front. And then let's fucking go. And now you start making your calls.
We did that with some classes because you had to.
It should have been done with all the bigger classes. It should have been done
with every class.
That's
It's intense not to have a call out.
I've been in numerous competitions where it was like that. And first of all, the thrill of a competitor to say, I got first call out. You know, I took one of my only NPC shows. It was in 2006. I did the, I forget what, the Gold Classic or something like that. It was the Gold
Classic in like Jackson or something, right? Point? Or
yeah.
Something like that.
Obviously, I was a natural athlete. I was competing. I was training for the...
What year was it?
I was training for the Natural Mania or something like that. And one of my buddies, Joe, is like, dude, I'll pay for your entry if you just do this show and fucking beat that dude. Because it was a dude, I don't want to call him out, but he was a fucking dick. And he was a local guy who fucking thought he knew his shit.
Who just took a shit ton of drugs.
Took a fucking shit ton of gear and fucking tried to be like Mr. Coach, fucking watch me compete. And he was a dick about it. So my man Joe was like, dude, just do this fucking show and beat him.
I'll pay for you to do it. And
so I went into it with fucking zero expectations. An IMBF show, I went into it wanting to win and having to drop, wanting to, this is going to be my day, I feel it, but in the NPC show, I'm like, fuck it, I don't give a fuck if I come in last, these guys are all on gear. So I went into it with that mentality. First of all, I ended up taking 5th, which I did beat the guy, which is awesome. So I got a chance to be in the top 5 and get a trophy, which is really super fun. One of my biggest accomplishments, believe it or not, even though it wasn't the first place and it wasn't in the IMBF. But we were all on the line, and I remember being back there, and he's like, and I see the judges, and they're like, oh, and they had their 5 up, they had top 5, and then they were fishing through the back of the line, and then they ended up calling me up for the first call out, and I was jazzed up, man.
That's fun.
That's fun. And it wasn't the Worlds, it was a Gold Classic fucking... It
was a local show.
Whatever it was, but, I would personally do that for the lineup, and that's something I would recommend for the WNBF to do. Whether or not they do it, you're not going to see me bitch and moan on fucking social media if they don't do it. But I feel that as a competitor and also as a judge... As
a judge, it would have been way easier.
Because you're only judging 8 at a time. And you know what? The people in the back, like, it's your job to stand there at attention and be presenting yourself as a professional. Not with your hands on your hips.
Defeated.
Not asking for water from the sidelines. Like, you just stand there in attention. And the top 5 get judged. And that's one thing I think from the judging standpoint, I think they could change. Because you can't judge 18 competitors at once, period, the end. It's not
too hard. It's way too hard.
It's not fair for the athletes on any ends of the spectrum. It's not fair for the top guys. Because they're crowded up and they're bumping into each other and they're fucking, even the girls, they're bumping into each other and they're trying to move themselves around. Give them the whole stage, line them up. That's one thing I would suggest.
I agree. It would have made it go smoother and easier.
Yeah. What else? The WNBF Worlds. Next year they're looking at doing it in Atlanta.
Nice. Bring it to some warmth again.
Yeah, which I think would be super fun. But it's too hot. I gotta travel. The local judges won't give me a first place. We'll find something to bitch about, guys. I know it. I know you'll find something. But anyway.
My tan is running.
They don't allow Dream Tan. My balls are too hot. I didn't win. Fuck. Anyway. I'm joking, guys. I love you guys. I appreciate the support. I'm having fun with these things. I would love, I would go to a competition like that every Saturday. I really would.
I will not judge a competition like that every Saturday.
I love the sport, man. I love the sport. You know, and until I get burnt out and sick of it, and it's a very expensive hobby for most of us.
For girls more so than guys, let's be honest.
Yeah, I think that, how you could use it, no matter how you place, no matter how you do, you can use it as marketing for yourself and go out and hustle yourself. Don't expect the WNBF or the INBF to be giving you anything besides a fair judging and a stage to compete on. You know, unless you're contributing. You know, I believe in giver's gain. Like, what are you given to get? Other than
just
what?
Showing up and competing.
What? Tell me.
You got to bring value.
What are you doing? Every time you go on social media and you blast the WNBF, are you expecting to be like, what exactly do you want? I don't know. But yeah, I think we can sum it up in saying that giver's gain, contribute before you expect. And even when you do contribute, don't expect. Just give because you want to give. Support the organization. What are you doing to support the organization? What are you doing to grow it? Ask yourself that, I feel. And also don't be a blame thrower, man. Assume all responsibility, 100%. Don't expect anything, especially in this sport. It's so damn subjective. There's a lot of great athletes out there. A lot of great athletes out there. And, I think, I don't know. I'm running out of words to say, man.
Word.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
It's time to end this one.
Why? Why are you saying it?
Rambling.
Am I rambling?
Yeah, ramble.
Well, what else is there anything else that we want to talk about?
No.
Nothing else.
No.
WNBF Worlds. Wrap up? That's it.
It was a great show. Let's bring another great show next year.
Done. And
Done.
Jersey Cup Classic, jerseycup.com, April 25th. We will give you everything we have to provide a great experience for the amateur athlete looking to compete, looking to get their WNBF Pro card on in the year 2020. And it will be more of a challenge next year, I can promise you that, because they are doing a tier system. They are doing a point system, and you're not just going to be able to walk up on stage as a competitor.
They might not be doing a point system yet. You said it was going to take time, but there's a qualifying.
Well, that's sorry. Don't.
It's a big difference.
There's no point system yet, but that's what we're heading in. That's something that 2020 is going to look forward to. Those of you who are just trying to compete to get a WNBF title, and do a show to get a pro card, this is not going to be something for you. It's going to be more of a challenge. We're bringing the competition back, and
last year's competition was fierce.
In ours, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
it always is. So April 25th, I'll wrap it up as I started with it. Jersey Cup Classic 2020, April 25th in Atlantic City on the boardwalk. Make a right, last minute. Watch out, dude.
Well, because you keep talking and I keep trying to help.
That's it. jerseycup.com. Believe in yourself, trust the process, and practice patience. If you guys are digging these podcasts, please let me know. Leave a review. If you aren't digging them, keep your mouth, keep it to yourself. I don't need any more negativity in my life. Keep your shit to yourself. Just kidding. But really, believe in yourself, trust the process, practice patience. That's where the tree's going right there.
Yeah.
I think.
Bye.
Peace.